qualifying time.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome into another Schubert racing video. As you heard, it is qualifying time for the GT Garage Streamers Cup Season 2, Round 1, here at Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. We are in the Red Bull Junior cars for this season, which I am absolutely loving right now. These cars are amazing. So I will get into the strategy for the race. Right now, we are just trying to make a gap for qualifying and just kind of set a banker lap and see where we can go.
Skino doing all the work to warm his tires up. Let's go. Go.
For this banker lap, we kind of got a little too close to Skino. We had a nice gap behind us to Attell's, but we were just a little too close to Skino, so it kind of affected me. But again, this was just setting a banker lap to see how much I could improve on it.
Oh no.
So here for our banker lap, we set a 140.350. So at this point I decided to exit out, head back to the pits, and rejoin and try and give myself a little bit more space this time to try and make sure I could set a really good lap.
Let's get some space. Go. Go. Oh, you gotta go some more.
So for this flying lap, we have improved, falling behind Proton here. And we end up finishing the lap here with a 140.1, which wasn't bad. But being right behind Proton here and fully in his slip, we pushed on for a huge push lap on this lap, getting a nice slipstream and really hitting corners kind of perfectly here. And there we go, we have a purple first sector. And Proton pulls out of our way because he had a penalty, which was perfect, and I thank you for doing that. And here we go, coming through Sector 2, just absolutely nailing corners. I was really enjoying this car, really enjoying this lap right here. And I'll let the rest of it play out.
Go. Come on. Go.
And there we go, we finished with a 139.126, a great qualifying lap that put us on provisional pole, which then almost immediately got taken over by Richie Racers, but we were super close. And then coming up here in a little bit, Attell's pulls off an absolutely epic lap. I think he got a 138, somewhere where Richie and I were about 5/10 behind him in qualifying. But I was super proud, and I would actually finish P3 in qualifying. And there you have it. We are going to finish P3 for qualifying, which was absolutely huge and just a fantastic qualifying by me. And a huge qualifying by Richie as well. That was such a great lap from both of us. And now getting into the race, it is a 50-minute race with a standing start with penalties for false starts. So I made sure to have the handbrake set. And our strategy was going to be starting on the softs and going until I was out of fuel, and then switching over to the hards, and then with about 5 minutes left in the race, hopefully switching over to the softs to finish. Probably not 100% the greatest strategy, but we kind of figured it out. And here we are starting the race, and we're just trying to find our groove, not ruin our race, not ruin anybody else's, and bend it there, and Farouk get past us. I was pretty sure that Farouk was starting on the soft tires, and that was later confirmed at his first pit stop, but yeah, he definitely just blew right past us on those soft tires. Oh, and then a little Constantina effect. Little contact, but luckily we got away with it. And then from here on, it was just kind of trying to find my groove, settle in, and figure out how I was going to run this race. And then here, unfortunately, I just cut the corner a little bit too much and pick up a 1 second penalty, which the penalties didn't end up really ruining my race, but they definitely did not help. So I think I ended up with a total of like 3.5 seconds throughout this entire race, which honestly here, it's very easy to pick up track limit penalties, so 3.5 seconds is not terrible, but if I hadn't picked up any, probably could have finished at least a position, maybe 2 higher. But it is what it is. And coming up right here in a little bit, we are going to serve the penalty. And yeah, serving a penalty this early, especially a full second into the race, we were all still super close. So I wanted to make sure that I pulled to the side, served my penalty, and then tried to move back in as early as I could. And luckily we were able to slot back in just ahead of Stevie. If we'd been behind him, it would have been a much tougher race, as it would have been a lot more challenging to try and get past him. So that probably saved me a position. And so here, we were just trying to keep up with ads, keep up with Proton, and just try and really settle in. It took me 3 laps to finally settle in, find my race pace, and be able to keep up with both Richie, ads, and Proton. And then on this lap here, both Proton and Ads end up getting in front of Richie. And that really started a big hunt down and chase for me, trying to catch Richie, trying to keep up with him. And it really made for an intense battle and really an intense race. I was trying to keep the pressure on him so he couldn't save fuel, as I wasn't trying to save fuel. So keeping the pressure on really helped my race here. And here we are for our first pit stop, coming in right behind Bendit, which was amazing that he made his softs last for 13 laps. Unless he pitted early, and I didn't catch it, but we are switching here off the mediums. We kind of went for an undercut, which I completely forgot that undercuts in Spain do not work. So we tried to go for an undercut. We only refueled up to 10 laps here to switch onto the hards. And we wanted to just kind of push through these hard tires and really work it down to about 5 to 7 minutes left in the race, which it ended up being right about 7 minutes left in the race when we made our final pit stop. But we're done with fuel, and now it's just really kind of just trying to push to the end to try and see if we can't make up some places.
Come here. Go. Alright, Proton, drag me away. Let's go. Go. Oh no. Go. Just go for it. Damn it. Pushing too hard. Go. Oh, you get on that and it just drags you. Go, Steve. Go. Go. No point in slowing you up. Go. Too nice. It's alright. Let's go. Dumb. Get back in your rhythm. That's all you gotta do. Get back in your rhythm. Damn it. Come on. Come here, Richie. Go. Go. Oh. Oh, Richie. Thank you, Richie. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Let's go. Too early. Okay. Go. think we can make it. Let's go. One more lap. As long as we can make it into the pits. Make it. Come on.
And here we are, almost out of fuel, coming in for our final pit stop. We're going to get off these hard tires and get onto our softs, the last mandatory tire that we have to use. We're only going to refuel for another 5 laps. Right now we're hanging on to 5th place, but Farouk here is going to go right past us while we're in the pits. And this pit stop was crucial. I didn't want to take on too much fuel, but I didn't want to take on too little to where I'd be out of fuel by the end of the race. And then this final pit stop after switching on to softs, man, it really changed how the car handled. Going from hards to softs, it made the car pretty much brand new. So we really were trying to hunt down Juggas here and try and get to that P7 finish. At least that was the goal. So we really just started putting laps in as hard as we could. And then here on lap 27, we put in our fastest lap, which ended up being about half a second to 6/10 off the leader's best lap. So that was huge for us. It was such a great lap. And then here we are hunting down Juggas, trying to catch him, trying to do our best to keep it clean and make sure that we stay within track limits so we don't pick up another penalty. And here we are at the start of lap 29. We are right behind Juggas, looking to make our move. I know that he's on hard tires, so I'm pretty sure that he's not going to fight it too hard. And here we go, we make a move on the inside into turn 1. We keep it nice and clean, just barely slotting in front of him. And it was an excellent move. Great racing by both of us. And now we are going to try and push to catch Bendit. I really wanted to get into 6th place after such a long and tough race. And then I'm pretty sure it was right about here where we found out that it was going to be our final lap. And we were just too far away from Bendit to catch him. If I had another lap, I probably could have caught him and maybe been in P6, although I know he is tough to pass. But yeah, we're coming down to the last couple of turns here. And I was really pushing to try and see if I could get as close as I could to him. But right here, we crossed the line and finished P7. This was one heck of a race, and I thank everybody for joining in. And if you did enjoy the content, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. This was just the first race of, I believe it's an 8-week series, all in the Red Bull Juniors at a whole bunch of different tracks. So please stay tuned in and we'll keep going from there. Again, thank you to everybody who joined in during the live stream, and everybody who's watched this race. It was incredible. Thank you again. I'll catch you on the next one.